Muted. Okay, guys, I hope you can hear me. Deadly Tarantula Girl here with John Feely from Feely's Clutch. He is super amazing. He has a lot of great accomplishments. One of the best, I think, being a retired military army guy. So let's give a woot woot to our army people out there. His wife is as well.
Yes.
What's her name, John?
Alicia or Scout.
Alicia.
Everyone on my channel knows her as Scout.
Ah, that's awesome. They are the proud parents of three beautiful babies, two and one on the way. And I'm super excited to have John here with me today. So, John, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and Feely's Clutch?
So my name's John, obviously. I have 6.5 years in the military before I was medically retired. Um, Feely's Clutch was started to kind of get my thoughts out and play with my snakes because I tried a lot of different things to calm myself down with my PTSD, and the medication wasn't working, the therapy wasn't working. The only thing that really calmed me down was my snakes. And then, like, well, I know I looked at it from a scientific point of view, I guess, and my nerd side came out, and
Awesome.
like, well, if I video this and I see how I'm reacting, I'll see my ticks and I'll see like the psychology behind it, and maybe I can work myself through it instead of dealing with therapists and being on medication and stuff like that. So that's
Awesome.
why the channel started, and then it's just kind of grown into my love for reptiles and sharing the community and trying to educate people as I go. So.
Amazing. Well, first of all, I want to give you kudos for your service in the military and also for speaking about your PTSD because a lot of people feel like maybe there's some shame or humiliation or weakness insinuated when people have those types of problems. But, those aren't new problems. It's just newer that we're talking about it. And obviously, the more that we can do that, the better it is for everyone. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, okay, so tell us a little bit about your history with reptiles and some of your experiences. What first got you interested?
Believe it or not, rattlesnakes. Um,
Nice.
I grew up in Western Texas and New Mexico. So obviously, I've lived in the desert pretty much my entire life. And there's rattlesnakes everywhere. People, unfortunately, are kind of obviously human nature. We expand out and we take over uh, territory and ecosystems and all that good stuff. So they they had to find a way to live with us. But I used to live out in the country when I lived in New Mexico, and there's nothing probably probably a mile in each direction.
Oh yeah.
So I just go out in the field, and you you'd see like a mama rattlesnake and maybe two or three babies that made it out of that birthing for the season, and then throughout the season you'd see them come in and just try to put on that weight before they went to nest for the winter. But rattlesnakes are what really got me started, excuse me, into reptiles altogether. And then when I was 14 years old, after being surrounded by snakes like pretty much my whole life, I was like, well, I want to be more involved with it. And I started reading books and started doing, well, even before 14, I was reading books about them and anything I could about reptiles in general. And my friend Kim, she's a really big member of the community. I don't know if you know her, but she's with the Island of Misfit Morphs. She
Oh
kind of
yeah,
founded
Kimberly
that
Paz. She's
foundation.
amazing.
I've known her since we were kids, and
Awesome. She's an amazing woman.
absolutely, I absolutely adore her. She's definitely helped me like resettle my mind a few times in life. So,
Good.
um, but when we were in high school, we had animal science class, And she talked to the teacher, and at this time she had a collection of probably 10 to 15 snakes already at 14 years old. So
Oh, you guys were classmates.
yeah, like
Wow.
we grew up together. Like
You
I've
really
known
did.
Kim since
Wow.
we were kids.
Oh, wow.
And so she talks the teacher into letting her bring a few snakes in. And at this point, I've never held a snake. I've read about them. I've been fascinated.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I got a call. My bad.
Oh, you're a popular man, John.
So I got fascinated by watching them, but I never got hands-on experience. And so we started the hands-on experience there at 14 years old. And I think it was maybe a week after that, I started volunteering with her at a pet store in our hometown. And I told the guy, because he offered me a job. I was like, I don't want pay. I want to be able to work off an animal, work off an enclosure, and work off the food for it. So I ended up getting this. I want to say she was probably about a 4.5 foot, 5 foot red tail
Ooh,
as my
nice.
first snake, and had the enclosure for her. Got all the amenities for her. Well, the amenities back then, we were like,
Yeah.
oh, here's a heat rock, which don't use those things; they're garbage. And
Yes, of
here's an
course.
under the tank mat, and oh, I can put these clips on here, and then she won't be able to push the screen top off. Yeah, she's living in style. And
Super cutting edge at the time.
yeah, exactly. This is going back almost 20 years now. So, um, but I have her in this giant, I want to say it was like a 55-gallon aquarium. And I'm just like, I'm doing my thing. And it's going well. And I'm enjoying work. And then I'm like, well, I have one. I've done really well. Let me jump into another. And I get an baby albino corn snake. And I started playing with that. And I moved that over to my desk that I had in my room. And I'm just like, yeah, I have snakes now. And this was like a huge taboo in my whole family. It still
So you
is
came
to this
from a
day. But
normal family.
yeah, I came in from a very conservative family. So, like, if you cursed before you were 18, you were sent to the bathroom and you bit down on the soap bar and just dealt with it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I had those two snakes. I had them for a while. I ended up losing both of them when I went to summer camp.
Oh no.
Uh, that I think like after a little over a year of having them, and I went to summer camp for like a week. Had the food set aside, all that. My mom knew what to do, and I guess the house just overheated or the thermostat or something didn't work right, and they both ended up overheating. So I came back to that, and that like just completely freaking devastated me at that point.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was willing to work with people with reptiles and help people with reptiles, but I just didn't want to keep them.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I don't want to end any more lives. And so for the next 20 years, I'd get my hands on and help anyone I could with reptiles. Or I think Kim even dragged me out to a show or two when they were first starting to become mainstream
Mm-hmm.
back way back 15, 16 years ago. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And, but I was always there. Like I always had a presence with reptiles. I was always learning about them. And then finally, um, when I was in college, I was like, I'm going to try again. I'm going to get over it, try again. And, joys of being in relationships and them being scared of reptiles and snakes.
Oh yeah.
I went with furry animals instead, and then I joined the army, and obviously moving and deploying all the time. It's just not the most
Can
practical
you
thing to have animals.
move the light
So
closer this way since the camera's
uh, up until about a little over a year ago, I didn't keep animals in my house, or I didn't keep reptiles in my house. My wife came to me I think it was last October. Well, October 2017. I was like, I want a snake. And like the glisten came in my eye, and I was like, you don't want to do that. Like we shouldn't do that. Because I knew what was gonna happen. Like beforehand, I knew what was gonna happen. And so we go to the store, and she looks at this little ball python, and she's like, "Well, I really like that one. We should get that one." I was like, "Yeah, it's cute. Let's keep looking around for a little while, though. Let's see what happens." And so at the pet store that we went to, they had she was about 5 foot red tail. And so I brought a red tail back into my life for the first snake, which I really appreciate it. I think my wife's starting to appreciate it now that she handles her more. She's just like, it feels like I'm able to kind of make amends for what I did before to me.
Good.
But
Good.
it also gets my wife used to something that has a little bit more size. And that red tail, I got her at 5 feet. I think she's close to 7.5, 8 feet now. So it's
Wow.
almost a two-person snake at this point.
Oh yeah, they get real
So
heavy bodied. So yes, definitely.
she's fun. And then the addiction set off quickly from there. I think within a month we were up to about 6 snakes.
Wow, that was quick. And she had never had
Yeah,
a reptile before?
she had never had one before. And now a little over a year later, we're up to 42 snakes. I have, yeah, I have 6 or 7 different species, I think, right now.
Wow.
No, hold on. 1, 2, 3, ATB, hognose, retic, carpet. 6. So 6
So
different species
that
right
is a perfect segue into my next question, which is what all are you keeping and what's your favorite?
now. All right. So I have hognose, I have ATBs or Amazon tree boas,
Ooh.
ball pythons, which I keep for breeding purposes and because that's what my wife really appreciates. Um, I have my boa constrictor still. I have a carpet python, and I have 2 reticulated pythons.
Ooh, nice.
A little bit
Awesome.
of
Well,
everything from big to
that's
small.
fantastic. How big are your retics?
My retics are just babies right now.
Aw.
They're probably about 6, 7 months old, so about
Oh,
three
gosh.
feet.
There's nothing funner than growing up a retic. Oh, look at that little princess. Tell me about that little animal you've got right there.
You want to say hi? This is a wild caught Elena May.
Ooh,
And
she's so wild.
she is
So tell me about that color morph. That's very unusual with the ginger hair.
something about Irish and Scottish. Yeah,
A
she's a little
Celtic
princess.
morph.
Oh, she's a little handful. She's fun though. What are you doing, princess? Huh? What are you doing? So yeah, the retics are probably about 3 feet, 3.5 feet. They're
Awesome.
just starting to hit that first big growth spurt that they
Mm.
get. So I'm picking up larger tubs to like I use Sterilite tubs for a lot of my stuff, and then I do it
Yeah.
for belly heat, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just cheaper than going out and buying those $400 enclosures right now.
Definitely.
But
Well, and they grow so fast. If
yeah,
it's for retics, I mean, you'd need to buy new enclosures all the time, which would be basically a waste of money unless you have animals that you know are going to go right into them. Oh, she's darling. So how old is that little one?
this little one is 11 months.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
just
And
about 11 months. So
when
on
is
the
your new
13th,
baby due?
April 6th, but
Wow.
I don't think we're gonna be waiting that long for that one.
No?
You want
Awesome.
it? You want the placemat? Okay.
No, it was trying to destroy Elena's.
Okay. Oh goodness, you're being a boy.
Uh-oh.
You want to come say hi, Mr. Chocolate Face?
You better get in here, Chocolate
Hi,
Face. We
Chocolate
want to
Face.
see you.
Say hi, Mr. Chocolate Face.
Hi, you're the Chocolate Face, silly. Who's on the couch there? Is that a sloth? Behind
It's
you.
I think it's supposed to be a gaboon monkey.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
The monkey.
Oh,
You got a
really?
heart?
The monkey.
Is that your monkey? You want to go show her your monkey?
Let me see that guy. Does he have a name?
A penton.
He's a little boy. It's okay.
The eyes.
Go get your monkey. Josiah, go get your monkey.
How old is he?
He is 3.5.
Very
Well,
interesting.
almost a half.
Homo sapiens, definitely the most inspiring, interesting species to raise. Does your monkey have a name, Josiah?
Does he have a name, buddy? Did you give him a name?
There's a house.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I've just been informed that I guess this is private or something.
A house.
Is there a way to check that?
Really? It should be if you go back into your YouTube.
House.
Okay. If anybody's not been able to watch, I'm so sorry if you watch this later.
Whoa!
This is a haunting.
No, thank you. If you go back into your YouTube under the info for the thing, there should be a little drop down for private or public.
Ongoing live return to the call. Well, see, we're controlling it from this one. It says live now. Resume hangout on air. Look, is it this?
Well, that's just back to this, but you need to go like public.
You're about to join.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's still fun.
Well, and if people can watch this later, it won't be as exciting, but it'd still be a good episode. What?
Oh.
You want to watch Clifford?
Wait, no, private.
It's only giving us the the option to be private. Let's see.
That doesn't make sense. You should be able to make it.
I know why.
Public.
View on watch page. It looks to me like we're.
See, it says private.
Oh, it does say. Oh, it does say private at the bottom. One person's watching me.
Well, hopefully that person enjoyed it.
Yeah, I am definitely enjoying it.
Yeah, it's not. It's still private.
Go to basic. Change it right there. Only public.
There you go.
Oh, and then save. Yeah.
It should just be the one box and then saving. All of this is going to be on the video, but I think that's
of course. Yes,
anyway.
you know, people love human error, especially from me.
Sometimes the teacher has to become the student again.
And boy, have I.
What are you doing, Bubba's?
It's a heart, big.
It is a big heart. You got a booger hanging from your nose. Come here. Give me that. Give me that.
I think it's good now.
Alrighty. Yay! People can see
Are we
us
public?
now. Yes, we are. I believe we
Okay.
are. So,
Okay, we are with a big old goofy smile on it.
Yay!
Thumbnail.
Now, you look adorable. Now, I don't know if people are going to be able to go back and listen to what we said before. Yeah,
I would
I've been
assume
told.
so because it's all
I've
one
been told
broadcast.
they can. So, all right, let's just keep moving forward. So you have an amazing collection of almost 50 snakes. For those of you who are just joining us, because I'm a dork and I did this all wrong, and it was set to private. And so John is currently keeping ball pythons, retics, hognose, emerald tree boas,
Amazon tree boas.
Amazon tree boas.
I haven't jumped into the emerald yet. Amazon tree.
Well, tree boas are awesome. Have you ever kept rainbow boas?
I've worked with them, but I haven't kept them yet.
Bitiest, jerkiest, prettiest, sparkliest snakes ever. No, retics are pretty nippy, but you know, let me tell you a funny retic story. This is like a 10-second story.
I have proof of that.
Oh, do you? So the last time I went to the NARBC, which has been a while, and that was when I interviewed Brian Parchik, which was super exciting, and he was really nice to me. So thank you to that. Thank you for that, Brian. I met Jason Reed from Reed's Retics. And he was so sweet and all this stuff. And he like hung out and visited with me. And he's like, "Oh, you're a belly dancer. That's so cool." And he was like, "You should dance with retics." And I said, "Well, you know, they're not like the friendliest snake." I said, "And of course they get so huge." And he was like, "Yeah, but just if you like retics, just while they're growing up, you should use them." And I said, "Well, when I perform, a lot of people like to come up and touch them and take pictures with us." And I said, "I don't know that retics are all that trustworthy." And he was like, "Of course, oh, mine are the best. They're so gentle, all this stuff." So I was like, "All right, well, then maybe I need a retic from Reed's Retics to dance with." And he's like, "You know what, girl, I'm going to send you one," and all this stuff. Still waiting, Jason. It's been like 3 years. Jason Reed from Reed's Retics. I'll probably see you in at NARBC next weekend. I'll be waiting. But yeah, so that was just I guess he totally forgot about me once, like out of sight, out of mind. And I emailed him and he never emailed me back, but that's okay. That's totally okay. And I do dance with retics now, thanks to him and his encouragement.
Awesome.
So let's see. So what would you say is your favorite species that you really enjoy keeping?
That's a hard one.
Or just talk about some of your favorites. I hate answering what the
really
favorite
is.
Is.
Tie. Like, I love watching the intelligence factor of retics and carpet pythons.
Definitely.
You can see, like, you can just watch both of them really work issues out, and it's almost like this is gonna be a bad like story for it, or
I'm dying to hear it.
I think you know.
Spill the beans. I do.
It's kind of like a velociraptor. Like you gotta keep working it around. Like, I won't feed them in the same spot. I gotta like.
Oh yeah. I hear that.
Entertain their sense to do stuff. Otherwise.
Yes, it's in zoos. They just call that enrichment. Yeah, they need enrichment. They really do.
But it's just funny. Like if you look back at some of my actually, I think it was my last live. My carpet just like sits on my neck and like nuzzles against my pulse.
Oh wow!
And
awesome.
She's awesome. She's a baby too. Like most of mine are babies. I have probably 6 adults in my whole collection, and those are all ball pythons right now. So
you know what? I think it's the best bang for your buck to raise babies up. And if you truly have a passion for the animals and you're not just looking to flip animals or make a quick buck, which, you know, I guess some people do, but obviously there are people like you and I who have a love for the animals. We find it actually therapeutic working with the animals and teaching people about the animals during the process. Raising up animals, I mean, and then especially if you ever can reproduce from them,
Oh, yeah.
oh, that's like such an amazing experience.
All right, he wants you to put back in between you both.
Is it not doing that?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
So just do this
Oh,
and this. just
gotcha.
every once in a while.
Okay.
And more hard.
So, yeah, I guess people have just been looking at my ugly mug, which is really a downer.
Okay.
So
It's been stuck in both
now I know that, yeah, I should maybe be like manually clicking back and forth. Now to you, John. Let's see. I don't know. Do you have any like funny or memorable stories about you with an animal or somebody else in the hobby?
So it's actually of my son. My son,
Perfect.
my son has his own ball python at 3 years old. Well, he's had this ball python since before he was 3 years old, and this this is probably the most gentle snake. And all snakes can be gentle. I don't want to like misconstrue anything.
Yes. Thank
You
you for
know,
that.
all snakes with enough work can be gentle. But this snake, you can literally like just grab its head and hold it, and it won't even pull back. Like it's
Wow.
so used to my son that it's probably my best ambassador animal. In all honesty, like he'll just put up with anything. But I remember my mother-in-law lived with us when I first started collecting, and she's like, "Oh my God, no, it's snakes!
They're
It's
gonna
the
eat your
devil!
babies. Yeah.
It's the devil! It's gonna hurt you guys!" And then I brought this snake out with my son, and we sat on the couch, and he was just holding it, and my mother-in-law is just like sitting there, like, no, no. Like you could almost see the fear sweats getting ready to start, and from that experience alone, like watching my son play for probably 15-20 minutes with this snake and nothing happened, like not even a hiss, you know. And my mother-in-law now holds snakes. She's not the biggest fan of snakes, but she'll hold
She's been
snakes.
turned.
She appreciates the beauty of snakes, so it's fun. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things is like seeing someone be converted or seeing a child. Like once that passion in a child's eyes light up, that's my favorite thing to capture in my videos too. Is like when I'm at a show, I'm searching, as bad as that sounds, I'm searching for that kid that's about to get their first reptile or
Mm-hmm.
about to hold their first reptile, and just to see like the wonder that kind of sparkles out of their eyes when it happens. Just if nothing else, like if I never sold a single animal, just to see that would be worth it. So
Well, it's interesting because for such a civilized, intelligent species, we're so out of touch with our planet. Especially in developed nations. America, I would assume, is probably one of the worst. I work with fourth graders this year, so they're, 9, 10, 11 years old, and most of them do not know where water comes from. They don't really know where, like, milk comes from or where cotton comes from or how a lot of animals reproduce. Did I lose you, John? Or just your picture?
No, I gotta.
Oh,
It's
yes,
been one of
Mr.
those days.
Popular.
It's not
Mr.
popular. That
Popular.
was actually a low battery warning. So I
Mr.
just plugged it in.
Popular. Oh, did you plug in? I don't want to lose
Yeah.
you.
I
Or
might
is
have to
that
switch what the
your
background
way
is.
of telling me it's time to zip it and wrap it up?
No, we're good.
Okay. I mean, kids just don't know much about the planet. And a lot of adults, too. They're just so out of touch with the planet. And, I'll admit, compared to someone who lives out, in nature, a jungle dweller or something, as they are still indigenous people that are very in touch with the planet, we're not. And so, to me, there's definitely a healing element to being in nature or working with these amazing primitive creatures. And, they're just so, I don't want to say simple, but it's like uncomplicated. a snake, no matter what, I've worked with cobras, gaboons, all kinds of stuff everywhere. They don't ever want to hurt others. Now they do. They are predators, but I'm just saying, like, a snake has never wanted to, I would say, like, get revenge on a group. I mean, they just want to live in peace. They want to be peaceful. They want to be safe. When animals ever attack, they think that, us, the human monster, that we're going to kill them or hurt them. And usually
Right.
that's a pretty founded concern. Historically, humans have killed, entire species of animals. And so I think that, of course, there are a lot of fallacies that most people think about reptiles. And so if we can teach people about the beauty of these animals or how amazing or gentle they really are, I think that that's so, so important. So thank you for doing that.
I try. I mean, education. I think education's the whole basis of it, and I think showing these animals. I mean, we got. I don't badmouth anyone, but we got
Mhm.
guys that people in the industry that individuals just don't like, and it's because of the way they handle themselves or the way they educate, because they construe it as a poor form of it. I guess I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's because they just gain popularity faster or anything like that. It's a number of reasons. Like you're saying, human nature is definitely something that should be studied more and understood more, because we definitely have an issue going on right now. But just I think us bringing it into more of a mainstream light is just doing so much more. Like if you look 10 years ago in this industry or 15 years ago in this industry, and you said, hey, I own one snake, people would like turn away or look at you and rebel away. No, sir, you
Oh,
already
yeah,
had a piece of candy.
definitely.
Stop grabbing candy. No more.
Come on.
No, ma'am.
Oh, pardon me.
No, ma'am. I don't need sugar high
You're
sun
right. I'm not
running
the one
around
that has
everywhere.
to deal with the little sugar monster after
You
the fact.
remember
Okay.
that. You remember
Nope.
that. When
No
he
more
gets to grade
Josiah.
school, I'm sending him to you to
Uh-oh,
deal
uh-oh.
with all hyped up on
I'm
sugar.
switching to just strictly college. Forget it.
But I think those people have done a lot, because you could see it now, and it really is becoming more mainstream. Like you can look at even, and I'm one of those people. I really hate PetSmart and Petco and
I know.
those
Just
companies
the
that,
chain stores that aren't
yeah,
educated. A lot of times
no,
their employees are
stop.
not educated in pet care.
You want the keys? You can go play with the keys. No more candy. But the reptile sections or the exotic sections and all of those are starting to grow, which
Hmm.
shows me that the industry in a whole is really starting to become more mainstream, which for some they may find it a bummer, but for us it's really helpful. Like it's it's gonna eventually help me get into the schools here. I'm having a huge issue with that right now. Like it's almost impossible to do a show here right now. But
Well, I have a master's degree in education. Let me know if you want a reference letter recommending you go into the schools.
I would really appreciate that. That is,
Awesome. I'll work on that.
yeah. I do. I'll do like Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops. Like they'll let me present for them, but just getting into actual schools has just been a nightmare. But it is what
Um,
it is. I'm in an area where everyone's like, "Oh, things need to be a certain way," and they're like, the bi and gay community is starting to flourish here now. So people are starting to become more open minded here.
that's good.
And regardless of what it is, just if we could bring more of a focus to reptiles and get open mindedness for reptiles in this area, really make me happy. I'm sure it would make other
Definitely.
people happy, but it would really make me happy.
So for the record, John is only 3 or 4 hours away from me, even though he's in Texas and I'm in New Mexico. And I've driven to where he's from and performed a few times. And so we actually talked about trying to meet up sometime in the relatively near future. And so I'm hoping that we're going to get to do a face-to-face before too long. That would be really exciting. Either him here or me there or whatever the case may be. I have two other, I don't know if you know Ryan Blakely. He has Walter's World of Pets
I've heard of it. I haven't really
in El
looked into it.
Paso. He owns some of the founding stock of some of the rattlesnakes that we've been working with for, I don't know, the last 15 years or something. And then there's a vet there who's super amazing who had invited us to his place. And he's going to, I'm having a brain fart, do a, I can't think of what it's called. Basically surgically sex our Aldabra tortoise to see if we
That's
do
awesome.
have a male or a female. And I want to see his because he has some big tortoises, and I love all the giant reptiles. They're so reminiscent of the prehistoric animals that I was fascinated with as a little kid.
I'm
And so,
still here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah.
You
Anyway,
said tortoise, so I figure
long
it is an
story.
animal channel. I'm not in the
Yes.
snake room, so why not?
How old
Little
is your
baby
baby?
sulcata. She is, I want to say 4 or 5 months.
Oh, do you know if she is a girl?
So the breeder I got her from said she was, and then one of the things, she has a messed up scoot.
Uh-huh.
They said that genetic defect usually happens more with females than males.
Interesting.
And as a baby, she is already kind of flattening out here,
Uh-huh.
where the males will start to concave
Yeah,
a
to
little
concave. Mm-hmm. That's so my fourth graders did really well on a math test yesterday, and so I promised them I'd bring them a 50-pound sulcata to the classroom next week.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm gonna have to flex my muscles and
Well,
get a wheelbarrow.
hopefully, my wife, before she was pregnant, she went out on a girls' night. She made friends with one of the zookeepers at the local zoo here, who takes care of the elephants. So hopefully one day I'll get to be able to go behind the scenes of the zoo.
Yay!
With the
That'd be
elephants.
awesome. You know what? I worked about 3 years to get in with the curator of the Albuquerque Biopark. And just when they were ready to come on down, they changed curators. So these are a couple of my little bitty babies. So this is a hatchling from about October.
Okay.
And we've got about 12 of these right now. And then this is my het Ivory. She's about 3 years old. And I think it's a girl see how flat she is.
Yeah.
And so her name is Jessica because I named her after the co-owner of Ivory Reptiles since she's a het Ivory. And then I have 3 adults that are pretty small. The biggest one is wheelbarrow size. And then my other male is a little smaller. And then I have a female that's like 12 inches. I mean, maybe 15 inches.
No, she's going back night-night, buddy.
Oh, I want to hear about that beautiful animal that just went across the background. Was that Scout?
Come on over, Scouty. Scout. You walked by.
I have a big puppy. Uh-oh. I think we lost the sound.
No, we're there.
Are you sure?
You there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Now I can.
Okay, perfect. All right. Tell me about this beautiful creature.
This is 4 years of hard work and dedication.
All right. What a catch. How long have you guys been married?
The turtle's taking a nap.
We're getting ready to have our 4-year anniversary, and then we've been
Oh,
together for a little over 4 years.
nice.
You can't have the turtle right now.
No, sir.
I'm a huge.
You are a beautiful mama. You look great.
Thing.
So,
Yes, sir.
do you guys? Do you? It's supposed to be the Josiah show. Didn't you know that?
Yeah. Hey, be nice.
You can't have the camera.
Do you know if your new one's a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Oh, sweet. Do you guys have a name picked out?
Gabriel Michael.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, John. Well, I hope that people have enjoyed learning a little bit about John from Fealy's Clutch. Tell us, talk to us a minute about your YouTube channel. Aw.
Go ahead.
I said talk to us for just a minute before we wrap up about your YouTube channel.
Okay, so it's been a little over a year since I started. We're slowly growing, but we're getting there.
Awesome.
And I enjoy every minute of it. I do have some moments where my creative flair kind of goes out the window, and so I gotta take a small break. But I think that happens to everyone. But
Awesome.
if you want to check me out on YouTube, it's John Fealy. I didn't brand Fealy's Clutch until I had already made the channel and I was already in, and I had already done that. You know how once you hit like over 100, you can make your own URL?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I went and I made it John Fealy. So like at this point, I might as well just leave it at that.
Yeah.
One day I might actually make a channel for Fealy's Clutch and then turn the John Fealy one into like a family vlog or something. But right now it's just a little bit of everything.
Awesome. So I'm definitely going to be linking John's channel below, so you guys can definitely click straight onto that. What's your favorite video that you've published on your channel, do you think?
My
Or
favorite,
one of the cool ones. I'll throw that. What's your favorite out the window?
my
Hi,
favorite
chocolate
are
face.
probably. My favorite was probably the first Pomona Super Show I did. Audience-wise, it's not a favorite, but it was one of my favorites. It's one of the ones I had the most fun doing. And then the Arlington show I did. Both of those, I really enjoy show vlogs just because you get to really see what people have and talk to people and just really get involved with the community. And like I said, when I first started this, no, I told you no more candy, sir. When I first started this, I didn't want to talk to anybody, including my wife, unfortunately, as bad as that sounds. I was reclusing myself from everybody. And so it took me a long time to be able to go shopping or do stuff like that. So the fact that I'm able to like see myself in crowds and actually, like if you've ever made a Pomona or any California show, it's shoulder to shoulder. Like I still have issues there. Like I have to step off to the side at times and like catch my breath and things like that. But it's just it's brought me so far, and I really am thankful for not just all my followers, but the people that take the time to teach me and just everyone, really. Like everyone in this community's been overly supportive of just every aspect of what I'm trying to do. So it's just
Awesome.
a great experience altogether.
Amazing. Well, I think you're amazing. I think your channel has done phenomenally well for how young it is.
I appreciate that.
But I'm definitely going to send people your way. And thank you so much for taking time away from your babies and your beautiful wife to come and visit with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Definitely. Oh, and also I want to say that John actually was my techie in our last live, which I flubbed up epically. And he's the one that actually got me on camera and audio live. So for those of you who were on that and were like, oh, yay, I'm so excited, you can thank this guy right there. And Josiah, he probably helped too.
He did all
But
the work.
yeah. So write a thank you letter to Josiah saying, and obviously he helped me get online today, which means I am going to definitely go live with Sean Bradley from Exotics by Nature, Aquatics by Nature tomorrow. So tune in for that.
Very cool,
Thank
dude.
you.
You guys want to make sure you tune into that one.
Oh,
For sure.
yes, he is entertaining for sure. Anyway, I want to thank John and his family for being with us today. And we'll see you guys next time. That was perfect. Bye.